on the road to finding a graduate school. Hey, Peggy Sue, are you looking for a graduate program in psychology? Peggy? Peggy, I'm here to inform you about some steps that you can take in order to help you on the road of finding a graduate school. Peggy Sue.
What's happening? Go away! Leave me alone! Shut up!
I'm here to help you
I know! I guess I'm just so stressed from trying to find a graduate program in psychology that now I'm having auditory hallucinations. And I'm talking to myself.
I'm not hallucination. I'm the all-knowing voice of the graduate program guru.
Maybe if I just let it talk itself through this thing, it'll go away.
Ha ha. Okay, Peggy. Well, before I can tell you how to get on the road to finding graduate programs, we first need to find out if going to graduate school is for you. Do you do your schoolwork? Are you good at managing your time? Do you have a particular goal in mind of why you want to go to graduate school? Are you willing to be dedicated and mature to a graduate program? If you said yes or made some type of voluntary action signifying yes, then graduate school is for you. Now, to start your journey on the road of graduate schools, like fine-tuning a good automobile for a long trip, you need to prepare yourself for such a venture.
What the heck are you talking about?
Peggy, you are quite the character. Now, let me show you a timeline of preparing yourself for a
What
graduate
timeline?
program.
Whoa!
Your second year of college, you should work on trying to build or maintain a strong GPA. Start venturing forward in some classes with a research interest. For example, you may wish to take courses in social psychology or multicultural psychology to determine if those subject areas interest you. Also, get to know the professors better. They can act as guides. Hey, Peggy Sue, are you talking to Professor Fill in the Blank? Now that's just swell. Third year, you should start becoming involved in some faculty research projects. This is so you begin building your resume for graduate school programs, as well as getting valuable work experience. Doing research may also help determine what branch of psychology that may interest you. Hey, Peggy, didn't you just talk to Professor Fill in the Blank before? How about helping her with her study of anxiety levels of college students from taking Professions of Psychology courses? Peggy, we all know that's not a universal sign of approval. Research experiences are not the only things that are great for graduate schools. Experience outside the classroom is as well. Various programs, especially if you're applying to a program in counseling or clinical psychology, require some experience within the field. The summer of your third year, you should start researching various schools with your interest. You can do this by talking to your professors, researching online, or visiting the psych office where there's graduate school information. From there, you should apply for information for a particular school, or email them, or telephone them in order to get more specific information about your areas of interest. You also may want to start studying for the standardized GRE and the psychology GRE if the programs you are applying for require it. Some programs require certain scores on the test, so prepare yourself. You can do that by purchasing or borrowing the GRE study booklets. You may also take various online tests located on the GRE website at www.ets.org/GRE. In regards to your psychology test, you should review your Intro to Psychology notes or book in order to prepare yourself for the test. You may also want to buy this specialized GRE psychology prep book. At the beginning of your fourth year of undergraduate, you should start preparing yourself for applications. You should talk to your professor for writing some recommendations for you, since they are usually required for the graduate application. The amount of recommendations you need usually range from 2 to 4 letters. Hey Peggy, now is a great time to ask Professor fill-in-the-blank for a letter of recommendation, since you did help her with her research. Hey now! You should also schedule a date for your GRE testing. The fee is usually around $130, but some programs require you to take the standardized GRE and the psychology GRE, so you may be spending $260. When scheduling your GRE, you should also pay attention if you wish to take the electronic test via computer or written. Usually the psychology GRE is only written, so bring a pencil or two. The earlier you set up a time, the better. You can even do it in your 3rd year of college. There are many variables that you need to examine before venturing on the road of finding a graduate program. You wouldn't drive at night without your headlights. No, sir. Now, the easiest way to begin your search for a graduate program is to find one that best suits your interest. In our case of Peggy Sue, her interests are in social psychology. Hey, Peggy Sue, you remember that grueling literature review you had to do for your research involving anxiety? Well, you should look at some of the articles that were the most interesting to you and see who was involved. Maybe one of the researchers actually teaches at a college of your interest.
I didn't know that Professor blah 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 worked at Ambiguous College.
You betcha! However, just finding a professor in your research interest isn't enough. You also should analyze the teaching philosophy behind the graduate program of your interest. You can usually find that in the description of the graduate program. What's that, Peggy? The program that Professor blah 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 teaches emphasizes animal research, and you're a devout vegan animal rights activist. Oh no. I guess that's back to the drawing board. Sniffy the rat thanks you. The years you are willing to commit should also be examined. For example, some programs like social psychology might actually recommend applying to a PhD program that will earn you a master's on the way. These programs, again, are hard to get into. Also, some counseling or clinical psychology programs require a year or more of internship, so it's good to pay attention to the predicted finishing time of the program. You should also examine the reputation of the school you're applying to and the various requirements you need to get in, such as grade point average, work experience, research experience, how many students are let in yearly as mentioned before, GRE scores, and how many letters of recommendation are required. Usually the higher the reputation of the graduate school, the harder it is to get in. You can check the ratings of graduate programs on www.usnews.com or by just checking out the graduate school's website. Don't be overwhelmed, Peggy Sue. If you did everything that was listed on the previous timeline, you should do just swell in applying. Beyond the academics proportion of finding a graduate program, one should also focus on the size of the school and the location. If you're not a fan of large campuses and the location in a large city, it probably would be best to apply to a small private college within a small community, much like your undergraduate at Baldwin Wallace College. Although these programs, due to the size of the campus and the amount of students they let in, are probably more competitive than some public graduate programs. Ha ha! You should have packed your boxing gloves! Along the lines of location, you should also be aware of living situations and if the college offers any job placement or stipends. Most colleges don't let graduate students live in dorms. No, sir, so prepare ahead financially. This means examining the usual financial aid rewarded to graduate students for that particular college or university. To recap on what is important to consider when selecting a graduate school: your interests, program's philosophy, program's predicted finishing time, requirements, size and location, finances and living conditions. With all that considered, you are now on the road to a graduate program. Good luck!